They took a book with actually no plot, to my knowledge, and made it into a 5-part movie series. Alright. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we're going to be talking about the film Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now this is a film which has been on my radar for quite some time. I'm a Harry Potter fan. I'm not a fanatic. I've watched all the movies at least once. I read all the books as a kid, and this is a prequel to those books, and it takes place in the 1930s to my knowledge, or 1920s, one of the two. And it takes place in America this time. We don't go to London. We have no affiliation with the UK really, except for where people are originally from. General idea of this film is that there is some force out in New York which is destroying things and they don't really know where it's coming from. Enter Newt Scamander. He comes into New York with a case full of magical creatures. They end up getting loose somehow and he has to go on an adventure trying to capture them and basically take down this evil force which is threatening New York. So that's the very general plot of this film. Eddie Redmayne stars as Newt Scamander. He does a very, very good job. He is such a likable character, Newt Scamander, because one thing that you can really tell, especially after a certain scene, is just how much he really, really cares about these creatures which he is harboring in his case. Because you see the love that he has for them and the understanding that he has, and it's just a very, very cool thing to see in a character, and they really added a new level of wonderment. When we first had the original Harry Potter films, we got to see Harry's amazement with like, oh hey, magic, it's a thing. Never had that idea before. And you get to see kind of the wonder that Newt has for his magical creatures, and it's just a very cool contrast to see in regards to these two main characters. And Fogler is also in this film. I have never, to my knowledge, seen this guy on screen before, and he was probably one of the best parts of this film. Him and Eddie Redmayne's chemistry was really, really funny, and they just had a lot of comedic moments together. He is a muggle, or a nomad, as they call them in America. He goes on this adventure with them, and we get to basically experience him learning about magic as an adult and seeing this whole other world which he was previously not aware of. And it's just a really cool thing to see play out over the course of the film as he becomes more and more accustomed to it and just gets used to it and starts to live amongst these magical people. Catherine Waterston and Alison Sudol, they play two sisters who end up being a part of Redmayne and Fogler's troupe, and they end up trying to help them capture these magical creatures as well, and they have really fun dynamics with the two characters as well. There's kind of a chemistry going on between both pairs, and it's just kind of a cool thing to see, and it'll be interesting to see how everything kind of plays out over the next 4 films of this series. And then we also have Ezra Miller. He has a fairly significant role over the course of the film. I was kind of iffy on his character, but he does kind of get more interesting as the film goes on. And I also have Colin Farrell as an Auror who is investigating this dark force which is terrorizing New York. And so that is their main characters. And I will say this about the film first. The special effects in this film were fantastic, as they needed to be. All the magical creatures looked amazing. You could tell that they were animated, but they were done in such a good way that it's an upgrade from the Potter films for sure. And you just see the level that CGI and green screen is at nowadays, because it just looks fantastic. There's a scene in which you get to see Newt and his friends go inside his suitcase, and that's where you're really introduced into his love of these magical creatures, and the special effects which are going on here, they look fantastic, and I was just blown away by that whole scene. That was my favorite part of the film for sure. It's also a very well-paced movie. I was really surprised by that. It's about 2 hours or so long, and this thing could have dragged on a very long time. But they know how to make these movies really fun nowadays, because ultimately what this film was a very, very fun movie. It had its issues, which I'll get to, but I had a blast watching this thing, which is what it needed to do to reintroduce the audience into the Wizarding world, and it did that really, really well. It is a much darker film though. We see people die. People die in this movie. I'm not going to hide that. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it, because a lot of the audience which grew up with the Potter films, they got progressively darker as they went on. This film is continuing that trend, and I'm sure that it will continue with the next 4 Fantastic Beasts films as well. So I really just enjoy that aspect of it, and it shows that, oh hey, not everything is hunky-dory all the time. Bad things happen. You have to get used to it. And then the ending, without spoiling anything, of course, it feels very much like a Harry Potter ending. I will say that. I won't really go into details as to why, but I just kind of got that feeling from it as in regards to just kind of how it left off. And so that was just kind of a cool thing. My only real gripe with this film is that the ultimate villain, who I won't spoil obviously because it's kind of a reveal-esque of sorts, he just wasn't very interesting. And that was just kind of a bummer for me because we had the whole build-up with Voldemort over the course of the Harry Potter films. Made a very interesting villain. We learned kind of his motivations in the first 4 films. Got to see the full villain in the last 4. And this one, maybe they're doing that same thing, but I just didn't really see the motivations for the main villain of this film, and it just kind of seemed very one-dimensional to me. May I just missed something, but I just wasn't very intrigued by his character, and I just kind of hoped for something a little bit better. And maybe we'll get that in the next couple of films. You guys, ultimately, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's a very, very fun movie, very, very good movie. If you are a fan of the Harry Potter films, definitely check this thing out. You will love it. And I'm a huge fan. I cannot wait for the second one. So, guys, those are my thoughts on Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Definitely check it out. And leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.